Chapter 1. The House of God. Abraham, a man of great faith, had long hoped for children, but as the years passed, it seemed impossible. One quiet night, God called him outside his tent and said, "Look now towards heaven and count the stars, if thou art able to number them." As Abraham looked up at the countless stars, God continued, "So shall thy seed be." These words filled Abraham with renewed hope. At that time, Abraham was 85, and his wife Sarah was 76, far beyond childbearing age. To fulfill God's promise, Sarah gave Abraham her handmaid Hagar as a second wife, hoping Hagar would bear him a child. But tensions quickly rose between Sarah and Hagar fled into the wilderness, feeling abandoned. In her despair, she cried out to God, who sent an angel with a message, "I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude." The angel told her, "Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction." Reassured, Hagar returned, and in time she gave birth to a son. Abraham named him Ishmael, meaning, "God shall hear." The name was a reminder of their struggles and God's fulfilled promise, marking a new chapter in Abraham's journey. God once again spoke to Abraham and commanded him to take Hagar and Ishmael to the barren valley of Becca, a place without water or vegetation. Obeying the command, Abraham left them there and returned to Canaan. As he was leaving, Hagar called out, "For whom are you leaving us in this forsaken valley?" Abraham did not turn back, but when Hagar asked, "Has God commanded you to do this?" he replied, "Yes." She then said, "Then God will not cause us to be lost." Abraham submitted to God's will and patiently bore the separation from his wife and child, trusting that they would be cared for in this desolate land. In the arid valley of Becca, Hagar and Ishmael soon faced severe thirst. Hagar stood on a rock at the foot of a nearby eminence to see if any help was in sight. Seeing no one, she hastened to another point of vantage, but from there, likewise, not a soul was to be seen. On her seventh run, the angel spoke to her once again, saying, "What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is." At that moment, God caused a spring to burst forth from the ground under Ishmael's heel, providing water in abundance. This spring, later known as Zamzam, became a vital source of water in the desert, attracting passing caravans and giving life to the valley. Time passed, and Sarah too gave birth to Isaac, fulfilling God's promise to Abraham. Abraham thus became the patriarch of two great nations, each with a divine purpose, one through Ishmael and the other through Isaac. Though their paths were separate, both streams would serve God's will. Abraham entrusted Hagar and Ishmael to God's care, knowing they would be guided and protected as promised. Years later, Abraham visited Ishmael in Becca, where they were guided to build a sanctuary near the well of Zamzam. God revealed to Abraham the exact location and instructed them on how to construct the Kaaba, a cubic structure with its four corners pointing towards the compass points. Within this sacred sanctuary, they placed the most holy object, a celestial stone believed to have descended from heaven, white as milk, but later darkened by the sins of mankind. Once the Kaaba was completed, God commanded Abraham to establish the pilgrimage, saying, "Purify my house for those who go the rounds of it, and who stand beside it, and bow, and make prostration, and proclaim unto men the pilgrimage that they may come unto thee on foot, and on every lean camel, out of every deep ravine. To commemorate Hagar's search for water, Abraham included in the pilgrimage the act of walking 7 times between Safa and Marwa. For so the 2 eminences between which she had passed had come to be named.